I have a very special guest with me right now, so let me get right to it. Blair Taylor is a talent agent with Commercial Talent Agency in Los Angeles and has worked in the entertainment industry managing on-camera talent for the past 18 years. He specializes in celebrity hosts, news anchors, and experts in the direct response infomercial arena. And he's here to support his very favorite host that he's ever had, Tom Jordan. Welcome to the show, Blair Taylor.
Thank you. Yay! Wow, what an applause.
Yeah.
What a welcome.
Do you deserve it?
It should be louder. It's okay.
We won't play it again, though, for you. It's so great to be sitting here with you.
Thank you.
Did you ever think this would happen?
No, but this is awesome. I think this is great, but you know.
Can I talk about you a little bit?
Yeah, of course you can. You can talk about me a lot a bit.
Let's talk first about the business side of Blair, because I know you're at a commercial agency, commercial talent.
Correct.
And you have booked a few actors on commercials over the years.
Just a
few. How many commercials have used your people that you've booked them on?
That I personally?
Yeah.
Well over 5,000.
5,000?
Yeah.
You have to
I've been doing this for
rich.
I'm filthy.
But that's not really your specialty.
No,
right?
You know, that's right. I mean, I started out as a commercial agent, and that naturally transitioned into this need for hosts, brand spokespeople. And that began probably 15 years ago.
That was when I think I became one of your very first. Was I your first?
You were one of my first.
Yeah, and favorite.
You were my first, Tom.
Oh, gosh. Now, see, there's rumors about us sometimes, so don't add to it.
Those rumors are not true.
Those
are not true. Yeah, probably about the time that we met. So that's about 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
And I helped create a hosting division
right.
at Abrams Arts Agency. And from there, I left Abrams and took the infomercial department with me at the time. And it's been very successful. And I've been consistently doing that alongside the commercial work for 16 years. 16, 17 years.
And you pretty much have the majority of the LA-based, if not around the country too, infomercial hosts.
Right.
Reel off a few of the hits that some of your hosts have done. Just a few.
Oh, I've worked on Magic Bullet. I've worked on the Bare Essentials. I have a show on right now, Derm Exclusive with Dr. Andrew Orden.
Miracle Blade.
Miracle Blade with Tom Jordan, which was a hit.
Yes. So direct response, which for those who don't know, that's infomercial world really out there. What do you like about it, or do you like it?
I love it. You know, the thing that I love about it is, unlike most actors or hosts on TV, this is a chance for the host to be very involved. It really gives them an active role in the project, and the reward can be very the upside for the reward is tremendous, especially if you can get a back-end royalty. You know, I've had some very, very successful shows where, it's changed the direction of people's lives. And that's awesome for me. And the thing that's so great is you never really know what is going to be a hit, what's not going to be a hit.
That is tricky.
You put all the, you can throw all the ingredients together, but unless you do it correctly, you can have a failure. You have all the elements to make a hit, and you have all the elements to make a failure at the same time. So, and
you've been doing this for almost 20 years in the direct response. So have you seen changes in the direct response world?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's affected you? How have those changes been?
Well, I've seen changes in the amount of opportunities which have they're reduced for many reasons. People aren't watching TV anymore or as much. They're subscribing to Netflix and Hulu, and so the eyeballs on the TV are fewer, and therefore it's harder to generate sales on through TV. I think from an economic standpoint, it's very difficult to invest such a large amount of money into a project, knowing that the odds are really they're hard. It's an uphill fight. To have a show become a success it's not the norm. And I think people are holding their money a little tighter to their chest. They're not spending money like they used to do, and they're not willing to take the risk. And media costs are high, and they're just trying to find other ways to get their product to market, because the days of the infomercial are not what they used to be.
Right.
They still exist, and there's still plenty of opportunities out there, and the ones that break through still do very, very, very well. I got involved with Derm Exclusive a couple years ago with my client Andrew Orden, who's on the TV show The Doctors, and this year it'll be $200 million in sales, and it's
Not
been
bad.
out for 3 years. So there's great opportunities if you're willing to commit the time, the effort, and I think the money and the patience to a show. And that's the biggest change, is that the business is just kind of taking a step back, and then the talent that they're looking for.
Well, let's talk about the talent, the host, because the host, celebrity hosts, you've got experts, you've got just people that are good at hosting.
Right.
What's happening in that world, and how would you compare when you use one versus the other?
Well, there used to be the time where people would say, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. And now it's, I am a doctor and I play one on TV. So the trend has been to experts. I think for a couple of reasons. It legitimizes your product. And I think it's in some cases cheaper because you can get an expert who makes his or her money in one area, and they're supplementing that by getting into TV and getting into TV. And this is a way that helps build their branding. So they're willing to come in and do it, sometimes for very little money, because they know they get exposure, and that helps them sell books or bring in clients or expand their own business. So that's probably been the biggest change with talent.
How much of a difference does a celebrity host make versus just a really good host? Or does it?
I don't think it does. The only time I think
so they should be hiring me instead of somebody that from a reality show they think is a celebrity, right?
Well, what's really interesting about that, and reality show contestants, I call them, are they're a big go-to for infomercials. But the problem is if you don't watch that reality show, you don't know who they are,
right?
And
they're not always great hosts.
And they're not.
So give me a DR horror story. Give me a good one. Come on.
No.
Yes.
No.
And name names.
No. I always look at when I work with the producers being part of their team and not an adversary to them. And I don't think that they always believe that as it relates to dealing with me. And, there's some game playing that goes on that really doesn't have to happen. I love it when I have a producer that calls and asks for talent. And there's one in particular who will not be named, who will call and give me specs on a talent. And I'll say, tell me your budget. Oh, it's adjustable for the right person. And I'm like, well, that some of the caliber of some of my talent. I know. And then I'll send over some ideas, and then they'll want to negotiate, but it's clearly a negotiation that is nowhere near the caliber of the talent that they want to use.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it becomes a waste of time, and they get the talent involved, invested in the product, and then everyone becomes disappointed because that producer is just too afraid of saying, listen, this is what I got.
Yeah.
And, we can always make something
cut
work.
to the chase with it.
Yeah, just cut to the chase.
So then how can a marketer out there or a producer, if they're the one involved, what can they do to help you do the best job you could do for your host and for the host to do a great job on the set? What are some advice you would give them? So the host walks in, ready to go, killing it.
Well, the first thing I think that's really important is just when it comes to the casting process, and I'll get a call and I'll send over headshots, I'll send over resumes, I'll send over demo reels, and I always say to the producer, when you get it and review the material, call me. Let's talk about these people, because there's things I can tell you about them that may not come across on the reel. I can tell you if they're a parent. I can tell you what their energy level is. I can tell you where I believe their strengths are, their weaknesses are, or if they're really good with demos, or if they maybe aren't good with demos, but they have a demo reel that might make you think.
Because it's not in your best interest to misrepresent them. You want them to be happy.
Right. And exactly. And it's rare that they will have that conversation with me. And they just take the material I've sent, even though I'm offering to, I want them to hire the best person for the job. So that's the first thing, is sometimes that can be really frustrating. But the other thing is to understand that the host, they're the face of your product. And I find that scripts get to the host very late, sometimes the day before. Changes are being made, things are rushed. There's just not an open communication with this person who's going to be the face of your product. I mean, I know that you and I have worked on shows, and you're like, can I please get a script? Because as the host, you want to be as informed and comfortable with the product, or get that product ahead of time and use it and work with it and
come from the heart.
Right. Yeah. And be really familiar with it so that you can do your job as effectively and
help
efficiently.
me to help you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they forget that.
Right.
You know?
Well, they get busy with other things too, I'm sure. But
it's
an important thing
important.
because that is virtually what you end up seeing on screen.
Right. And that's spokesperson becomes your salesperson. That is your number one salesperson for your company. They represent your brand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And you need to invest in making sure that person can do their job as accurately and as professionally as possible. And I think sometimes there's disadvantages to the clients in doing that,
Okay. Well, I asked Blair to send me some questions to ask him. And, it's very interesting because I've done this with other people before, and it's amazing what you get. Sometimes it's really helpful questions, and sometimes it's questions like, Blair, why are you so incredibly handsome?
That's a good question, Tom. I moisturize.
Okay, well, maybe there is something we can learn from that.
Coconut oil.
Is that what you use?
Yep.
Coconut oil. I'll have to try that.
Yep.
All right.
It's a lost cause.
Let's move on to the next question. Maybe we'll learn more. Paper or plastic?
Paper.
Good info to have. Super salad.
I will upgrade and take both.
Beef or fish? I know the answer to this
Beef.
one, so
Beef.
let's not go there.
No fish.
Okay, this is the stupidest one of all. If two trains both leave Chicago at the same time, one traveling westbound at 45 miles per hour and the other traveling eastbound at 55 miles per hour, at what point do the go-go boys start dancing? What the hell does that even mean?
10:30.
There's a real answer to this?
I don't know.
See, this is what I deal with sometimes with my agent. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
When you ask me to provide you the question,
Yes.
there we go.
Yeah, I think he was trying to
I could've
tell me,
gone all day with
you're
it.
the interviewer, Tom. You figure it out, right?
Isn't that your job to ask me the questions?
All right, so all kidding aside,
Yep.
I do want to say to you and to everybody out there that agents sometimes have a stereotype. They're out to, they're going to kill you, they're going to screw you and all that. And this is what I hear from anybody who really does know Blair. From the producer standpoint, he's tough, he's fair, he does want a win-win situation, and I appreciate that as a host because when you feel like you're having to defend your agent to these other people and they don't even want to call him, it makes it tough for us to work.
Right, of course.
And I know he knows this, but, it's also nice to have your agent as a good friend. And we have a good time together.
We have a lot of fun.
We've known each other a long time. He's one of my favorites. I can say on camera, I'll never leave him as a talent, even though I haven't been working enough lately, and that needs to change immediately.
I know someone that just got a job.
Well, okay, maybe so, but we're not going to talk about that on the show. And just, we have the best time. We go every year to Vegas to the infomercial conference, and people think we're a couple. We're not.
We're a couple of crazy guys.
Trust me. We usually save the real fun for the last night, do a little gambling, little bit of drinking.
Thanks to you, you're the one.
I got him started. I taught him blackjack.
Yep.
But I really do value our relationship.
Thank you. So do I.
I always enjoy spending time and talking to him. He's the best. He is the cream of the crop.
And if I could say,
well, I'm going to ask you right now.
Oh.
This show is the pitch.
Yep.
Damn it, Blair. Pitch me.
There we go. The one thing, well, thank you.
Pressure is on.
Right. No, and I appreciate your kind words. That was very sweet of you. But the one thing that I think the talent bring to the table that's so unique is you've had a chance to work with dozens and dozens of different directors, different producers, different production companies, different writers, media companies. I mean, that's something unique that the talent has, especially someone that's been so successful like you have, that you're one of a handful of people that have really worked with everyone in the business. Mm-hmm. And so I think when someone comes to you and they ask your opinion, like who's a good director, who's a good writer, who's a good, producer, because you have hands-on experience with all of them, you can speak from a place of experience and credibility in that area. And I don't know there's many people that can say that actually. I get calls a lot like, we have a product, who do you recommend? And I can make a recommendation based on my experience negotiating with them, but I'm not in the trenches with them, working with them and seeing how efficient they are on a set. And that's something that you can do. And you have the fortunate, I don't know what the word is. You're fortunate that you have been able to work with so many of these companies that you can come from a place of being knowledgeable. And I think this is a great venue for you and a great environment for you, because you have worked both in front of the camera and behind the camera. And you're probably one of the most I don't know, you're one of the most detail-oriented people that I know. And I know it's really important for you to do it right and to do it correctly, and you take so much pride in your work, in everything you do. And so I think that's just a testament to who you are. And I think that's one of the reasons why I consider you a good friend and that you've been a client of mine for so many years. So
I do have a little bit of welling coming up
that's
there.
true. No, but that's all
nice.
true. It's all true.
I appreciate
You know that.
I do know it.
Yeah.
I do know. We have a real affection for each other, but not in that way.
Not yet.
Never happened. I want to thank you for coming in.
You're
Is there
welcome.
anything you didn't get out that you need to get out? Did I not cover something that's important?
No, I think you covered it all,
Ridiculous
Tom.
questions.
You covered it all. Just make sure they know how to get to me if they want talent like Tom.
That's where I'm going. You see, now you're wanting to do my show.
Okay.
So there's a little thing
there we
here
go.
at the bottom that says your name,
Uh-huh.
and it says Blair
I
Taylor,
don't know
Talent Agent, Commercial Talent Agency is what it is. So in Los Angeles, they can reach you that way. Is there
Yep.
any other way you want them to reach you? Do you want to give them your Facebook, your Twitter, your home number?
Nope. Oh. Nope.
Thank you for coming in,
You're
Blair.
welcome.
I
Good to
appreciate
see
it
you.
very much.
Absolutely.